baseline.
Yeah, Money just kind of spikes a fastball right there in the ground. I don't think Travinski was really anticipating that happening.
Mendham is hitting .278. He has collected 3 home runs with 20 driven in. That looked like an off-speed pitch, a good changeup.
That was a fantastic changeup. If Money can work that in, he'll be very tough on these left-handed hitters. As you see Mendham's numbers, .278 on the year with 3 bombs.
Mendham has 3 base hits in the series. He is 3 for 6. And Money gets the bottom part of the strike zone. Andrew Eister is on deck. Money retired the first 2 quickly. He walked Clark, who moved up on a wild pitch. And now it's David Mendham, the first baseman, at the plate. He swings and sends a high fly ball deep to right field, and that is up into the bleachers, a 2-run home run for David Mendham. So South Carolina, scoring 4 in its last at bat in the first game, gets 2 in its first at bat in this game. A towering home run into the right field bleachers by David Mendham. That's his 4th of the year.
Boy, Mendham has been on fire now, 4 for 7 in this series, and he's been the MVP offensively for South Carolina, no doubt about it. This was a 1-2 fastball, not where Blake Money wanted it. Kind of missed middle in, and Mendham did not miss it at all.
That 2-out walk extended the inning, and Mendham made it hurt. Here's Eister.
You know, you nibble around. You know, you saw a situation where Money's facing Clark, who's the leading home run hitter in the league, so you didn't want to give in and give him something too good to hit. Instead, you nibble, you walk him, you spike a fastball, things get a little discombobulated, and Mendham made him pay.
Eister follows with a ground single to left. It's his 2nd hit of the series. All of this has occurred with 2 outs and nobody on base.
Well, this game can change in a hurry, can't it? I mean, he got 2 outs on 3 pitches Money did to start this inning, and then all of a sudden, South Carolina, who now got 6 runs through an inning and 2/3 offensively, their last inning and 2/3.
Josiah Seitler swinging on the first pitch, sends it out of play. That's a little bit inside. With 2 outs, Clark walked, Mendham homered. Eister has singled. 2-0 South Carolina with Seitler at the plate. Seitler has batted 3rd in this series. He's hit in the 2-hole, and he's hitting 6th in the final game. Money gave up a couple of home runs in his last start against Kentucky. He has been touched for 1 here in the first against South Carolina.
Seitler, Lynn, was drafted in the 12th round out of high school by the Cincinnati Reds. That's pretty high. Elected to go to college. And is having a fantastic junior year, batting .317 coming into the series.
There are not a lot of 300 hitters available to South Carolina so far this year. Only a couple in the starting lineup. And as you mentioned in the first game, Ronnie, this is one of the least effective offensive teams in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, they second to last in the league batting average wise coming into this weekend, but they can pitch it, and they've hung around, and offensively now they've gotten going a little bit here in the last couple innings.
South Carolina takes a 2-0 lead on this towering home run by David Mendham, his 4th of the year. This ball winds up midway up the right field bleachers, and South Carolina off to a good start. 2-0 after a half inning.
Every time I eat stuffed crust from Pizza Hut, I play this song. But watch what happens when I play it backwards.
Eat 3-topping stuffed crust backwards.
The original stuffed crust, just $11.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This is the planning effect. As Carla thinks about retirement, she'll wonder, what if I could retire sooner? And so she'll get some advice from Fidelity. And Fidelity will help her explore some different scenarios, like saving more every month. And that has Carla feeling so confident that she can enjoy her dream right now. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
Mr. Bublé, not again.
Just fixing a little typo, Gladys. Oh, what's this? Bublé bounce?
Yeah, a little caffeine, no calories. It's great.
Kick of caffeine. Just what I needed to fix all these. Would you pronounce it bounce or bounce? Yeah, Bublé bounce.
It's not how it's pronounced.
No calories, no sweeteners, just a kick of caffeine.
South Carolina has taken a 2-0 lead over LSU. The Tigers are coming to the plate against slender right-hander Will Sanders. 5 victories in 6 decisions this year, a 2.5 ERA, 32 1/3 innings, 36 strikeouts. Many of these South Carolina pitchers have more strikeouts than innings pitched, and only 5 walks.
Wow.
So that's a 7-to-1 ratio, and a whip under 1, which is where you want to be.
Now, Will Sanders, a lot to like. You know, he was the number 2 rated right-handed pitcher out of the state of Georgia last year, coming out of high school. His last outing against Missouri a week ago, he pitched 4 innings against the Tigers, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, did not walk anybody, and struck out 6. He's been the SEC Freshman Pitcher of the Week twice this year.
He generally is all around the plate. Let's take a look at the LSU batting order. Gavin Dugas has 10 home runs. He's number 3. LSU has 300 hitters in Morgan and Cruz and Doty in this lineup.
LSU with the same order for 3 games in a row now this weekend. Travinsky getting the opportunity to catch. He's batting over 100 points higher than Milazzo, so they're giving him the chance to start all 3 games this weekend.
Trey Morgan leads it off. He is first pitch swinging, and he drives it into center field for a base hit. Morgan now is 4 for 8 in the series. He was hitting a season low 305 when he went 5 for 6 against Tennessee. He's hitting 386 since that season low spot, and 4 of 8 in this series. Defensively, it's Sider and Allen and Eister in the outfield. Malone, Khalil, Wimmer, and Mendham on the infield from 3rd to 1st, and Burgess is catching again today. So Morgan immediately gets aboard. He's hit safely in 6 straight games now. He's reached in 13 games. And the Tigers will try to answer South Carolina.
94 miles an hour on that fastball up and in to Cruz. Sanders on the mound is 6'6", 208 pounds, and has an electric arm, as you can see.
He's a slender 208 pounds, as thin as a mail slot. Cruz did not have a base hit in the preceding game, but he did walk, meaning he's been on base in 33 of LSU's 34 games. Sanders works ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Morgan at first base with a 1 bounce single up the middle. That's steered away from Cruz. The wind right now is blowing right into the face of the LSU hitters. And it's cooled off a bit.
It definitely does not feel like a mid-April day here in Baton Rouge. Temperature currently 64 degrees, but the wind makes it feel colder.
And the change over the last couple of days, we still have a chance of rain here. It has been torrential for a couple of days around this series. Rained out yesterday. Both teams were able to play dry on Thursday. Rained out Tuesday in Baton Rouge, were the Tigers against Grambling. Three balls, 2 strikes to Dylan Cruz. Trey Morgan takes a lead from first after a base hit. Sanders to the plate. Morgan on the run. That's ball 4. Palmineri was putting the runner in motion on a 3-2 pitch. And LSU brings the go-ahead run to the plate in the bottom of the first inning in Gavin Dugas.
Well, back in the first game of this doubleheader today, Gavin Dugas came up in the same situation. First and second, no outs in the 5th inning when LSU held a 2-0 lead. He struck out and then LSU got hit into a ground ball. They didn't get any runs there. Let's see if Palmineri turns him loose again.
Dugas leads LSU with 10 home runs. One of the leaders in the Southeastern Conference with those double-digit home runs. He's hitting .372 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that's pretty outstanding. And now you're going to get a mound visit as Skylar Meade, the pitching coach, understands how crucial this situation is. South Carolina with a 2-0 lead, but an opportunity for LSU to get it back here. And it's only a 7-inning game, so everything is magnified when you don't play the 8th and 9th.
Well, Ronnie, I want to revisit a subject we talked about briefly in the first game, and that was the Major League Baseball experiment in the Atlantic League this summer of moving the pitcher's mound back by 1 foot. And there's also going to be an experiment used with the DH rule. We'll talk about that after we see what the Tigers do in the bottom of the first. Trying to tie it or take the lead after a 2-run home run in the top of the inning by David Mendham. A high drive deep to center field. Brady Allen has room as he continues to retreat, and he's got it. Morgan tags at second and moves up easily. So Dugas gave it a ride about 390 feet, but it was caught by Brady Allen. And the Tigers have a runner 90 feet away with 1 out, and also a runner at first.
Well, you know, that's if you're South Carolina, give an assist to the wind because that ball was tattooed. And if there is no wind, you might have a wall banger right there. Instead, it's an out, and LSU's only able to advance the runner from second to third.
Here's Cade Doty, who is tied with Dugas for the team lead with 37 RBI. And nobody will be able to reach this one. You saw the left fielder, Seitler, throw that ball up into the stands. And there's a happy group after collecting the souvenir.
Jay Doty's the right guy to have at the plate in this situation. He's got 4 sacrifice flies on the year, and he also has 9 homers, so a guy who lifts it in the air, but this one won't get it out of the infield.
It is snared by the first baseman, Mendham. So an opportunity with 1 out and runners on the corners does not materialize. Doty pops up. Here's Cade Beloso, who has been one of LSU's best hitters over the last 6 games. He sits safely in those games.
Now this is the right guy for LSU at the plate right now. He's hitting .529 in his last 6 games, 9 for 17, and LSU has struggled today hitting with runners on base. So this is an opportunity to kind of get back some that they've missed if Beloso continue his hot hitting.
The Tigers were limited to 4 base hits in the first game, even though they carried a 2-0 lead into the final inning.
If I told you you were going to have first and second and no outs with Dugas at the plate, you'd think LSU might get 2 or 3 runs that inning. And the first game they got 0, and now they're on 1 out away from getting 0 again in that same identical situation.
Morgan is 90 feet away at third base. Cruz is 270 feet away from the plate. Cade Beloso has driven in 24. He's got a chance to get some more, but he grounds it to the right side. The second baseman was playing deep. Wimmer able to pick it up easily and get it to Mendham, and LSU leaves runners on the corners. So we go to the second inning. South Carolina 2, LSU 0 on the SEC ESPN Network.
This is the planning effect. If you ask Susie about the future, she'll say she's got goals. And since she's got goals, she might need help reaching them. And so she'll get some help from Fidelity. And at Fidelity, someone will help her create a plan for all her goals, which means Susie will be feeling so good about that plan, she can just enjoy right now. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
Every time I eat stuffed crust from Pizza Hut, I play this song. But watch what happens when I play it backwards.
Eat 3-topping stuffed crust backwards.
The original stuffed crust, just $11.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Health isn't just physical. Social well-being is important too. Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo lets you analyze the tone of your voice throughout the day, because sometimes we don't sound the way we think we sound. Like, maybe you thought you sounded affectionate, but actually sounded bored. Maybe in the future you can do a better job complimenting her talents. With Halo, you can make sure what people hear with their ears matches what comes from your heart.
Spock Stadium, Skip Bertman Field. We go to the second inning. A 2-run home run by David Mendham in the first with 2 outs has propelled South Carolina to an early lead after a 4-2 victory coming about in the final inning against LSU in Game 1. Blake Money walked a batter with 2 outs, and that set up Mendham. He'll go against Burgess and Khalil and Malone here in the second. With former LSU Tiger and 2-time College World Series champion pitcher Ronnie Rance, I'm Len Rollins. Thank you for spending some time with us. Coming into your living rooms, perhaps you're watching in your favorite sports bar, perhaps at an airport waiting area, perhaps on your personal devices, and glad to have you along today. That's a big cut as Money works that pitch by Burgess. Right now, he's the hottest South Carolina hitter He's batted safely in 9 games. He's reached in 15 consecutive games. Money brings the 1-2 and misses high and away.
Well, LSU right now is probably a little punch drunk, like a boxer that gets knocked around a little bit, and you wonder what just happened, because through the first 6 innings today, they had total control on their way to winning game 2 of this series, and all of a sudden, bam, they give up 4 in the 7th and lose, and then here they are in the first, give up 2 and find themselves down. So they've got to try to get their sea legs right here, and Blake Money's the guy that can get them righted. If he can go on a little run and put 2 or 3 zeros up there, might get them back offensively.
Burgess has just moved his hitting streak to 10 games with a solid single to the left side. He's had 1 base hit in each of the games in this series.
Oh, what a good player he is, huh, Lynn? Because we know defensively he is one of the better throwers in the conference, throwing out nearly 40% of all base stealers, which is an extremely high statistic. Anything over 30 is sensational.
Khalil, the shortstop, has a runner at first base. This is a veteran player. He's a senior.
From Melbourne, Australia. So good day to anybody watching in Melbourne, Australia, any of the Khalil family.
I wonder what time it is in Australia, or what day it is.
That's true. You ever been to Australia, Lynn?
I have not. It's on my bucket list. I know you played some baseball in Australia in your career.
Went there one time in high school.
By the way, I'm told it's 6 in the morning in Australia. Tomorrow it's 6 in the it's tomorrow today. Anyway, it's 6 in the morning. So good morning to the Khalil family.
Somebody's having toast and Vegemite right now watching.
That's that
this.
peanut butter stuff? The Vegemite?
Yeah, it's like their version of peanut butter. Mm-hmm.
I have tried it. It's awful. I know you loved it though.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I tried it, but much rather Jif Creamy.
I thought it tasted like Dutch cleanser.
Don't know what that tastes like, but it doesn't sound good.
Burgess at first base after a single to open things in the second. Vegemite, that's kind of the consistency of butter or peanut butter.
Yeah, in between, yeah.
It's kind of salty. Cruz dives and he can't get it, and this one is going to roll to the wall behind him. Burgess rounds third. He will score, and South Carolina adds to its lead. Dylan Cruz has made several spectacular catches in right field in his rookie year, but that one bounced in front of him, and it results in a triple and an RBI.
Yeah, Dylan Cruz might have been better off making sure that he keeps that ball in front, because with Burgess, who blew out a wheel rounding the bases, and he came up a little gimpy, by the way, something to keep an eye on. He was limping towards the dugout after he made that first home run. But if you play it in front, if you're Dylan Cruz, you got first and second and no outs instead of diving and coming up empty, and now you're in a pickle.
So a base hit by Burgess and a run-scoring triple by Khalil advance the South Carolina lead. That's the first triple of the season for Khalil. LSU has pinched its infield toward the plate with Malone trying to get an RBI here with our teammate at third base and nobody out. LSU's bullpen is busy with Mikhail Hilliard warming up for the Tigers. Malone was hitless on Thursday in 4 at-bats. And he is 0 for 6 in the series.
Breaking ball just missed a little bit upstairs.
Nobody out, a runner at third. It was LSU that got off to an early start in the preceding game, scoring 1 in the first and another one in the second. But South Carolina has taken that position in this game with 2 in the first and 1 in the second.
It's really incredible how South Carolina has flipped the switch offensively in their last 3 innings.
And the base hits continue for South Carolina. Malone is going to try to get 2 out of it. He's on his way to second base, and he's there easily. So Malone drives in a run with his 7th double of the year. And South Carolina has 2 in the first and 2 in the second.
Money missing up. You see that fastball above the belt, and when Blake Money gets the ball down in the zone, he's at the knees with that 6'7" frame. He's super effective, but when it gets up about the belt, he becomes hittable, and that's what's happened here this inning, and South Carolina's not missing.
So 3 consecutive hits to open the inning with a couple of runs scored, a single, a triple, and a double by Burgess, Khalil, and Malone. And here's Brady Allen at the top of the order.
Paul Maneri's going to make a pitching change right here and bring in Hilliard.
So Blake Money allows 4 runs on 5 hits in 1 inning of work. Blake Hilliard comes out of the bullpen, and we will come back in a moment. South Carolina won game 1 today, 4-2. It leads 4-0 here early in the nightcap.
Every time I eat stuffed crust from Pizza Hut, I play this song. But watch what happens when I play it backwards.
Eat 3-topping stuffed crust backwards.
The original stuffed crust, just $11.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Don't you think? Definitely.
It's so busted, you can't use this part of the screen.
Definitely cracked every phone I've owned.
You broke your phone, so Verizon broke the rules. For the first time ever, new and current customers can trade in their old and damaged phones for up to $1,000 off our best 5G phones.
My phone is old, very old.
Old, cracked, water damaged, doesn't matter.
I'm ready for something new.
Now, trade up to the 5G network you deserve with the 5G phone you want. Because at Verizon, the network is just the beginning.
Mikhail Hilliard is making his 12th appearance. 2-0 record, 7.80 ERA, 15 innings, 19 hits allowed, 18 strikeouts, and good control with only 4 walks. So he'll be required to draw a line in the sand right here. Blake Money replaced by Mikhail Hilliard. The curveballer comes over the top with a breaking pitch, and that's a strike.
Hilliard in SEC play, Lynn, this year has worked a total of 6 1/3 innings, all out of the bullpen. He has a 4.26 earned run average. 6 strikeouts, only 2 walks.
Zach Arnold turns that into an out. But Malone moves to third base as Mikhail Hilliard retires Brady Allen, a tough guy at the top of the order.
Well, Allen did his job. He moved that runner over from second to third with no outs, and so now LSU going to have to play that infield in again. We can ill afford to get further behind. Remember, this is only a 7-inning game. It's the second game of a doubleheader.
Wimmer is batting .300, +3. And a breaking pitch misses wide. Wimmer bounced out unassisted to Morgan last time.
Well, Wimmer changed the whole dynamic of this series with one swing of the bat back in the top of the 7th in game 1 today. South Carolina was trailing 2-0 with runners at second and third and only one out. And first pitch he saw from the reliever Devin Fontenot, he hit a bullet to the warning track just off the glove of Cruz as he was trying to make a running catch.
Blake Money gave up 5 hits in 1 inning of work, plus 3 batters. 4 runs have been charged to him. He walked 1 and struck out 1. The only play is at first base, and the runner holds at third. Well done by Jordan Thompson, who has flashed some sterling silver leather in this series.
Well, the impressive thing about Thompson in that play was that not only did he make a nice job of backhanding the ball, but then he looked the runner back to third. Watch right here. Watch his reaction. Bam, jumps up, looking, checks the runner at third, and then just easily fires a cannon missile to first. I mean, his arm is super impressive. One of the best infield arms ever here at LSU.
Now Wes Clark with 2 outs, and the big fellow takes a strike. 15 home runs have sailed off his bat this year. He's got the most in the SEC. South Carolina in its last 3 at-bats has 4 runs, 2 runs, and 2 runs again. That goes back to the 7th inning of the first game today. Clark walked with 2 outs in the first, and that set up the 2-run home run by Mendham. Hilliard over the top, a ground ball up the middle, and it makes center field. An RBI single for Clark. That's his first hit of the series. And South Carolina adds to its lead. It's 5-0.
They had Clark kind of shifted to pull, so Thompson was way over towards third. You see Arnold, the second baseman, actually came, he was kind of playing a little closer to the middle, so he actually got near the ball, but nice job by Clark making an adjustment. He's considered, he's a big home run hitter, leads the SEC in that category. So, but he cut down on his swing with 2 strikes and drove it right back up the box for an important 5th run.
So after Mikhail Hilliard got Allen and Wimmer on ground ball outs, Wes Clark singles to center. That run is charged to Blake Money. And let's go back and look at David Mendham's home run swing in the first inning.
Yeah, fastball middle in. He did not miss it. It was a no-doubter off the bat. About a 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Blake Money.
So Money, 1 inning of work, 5 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Can anybody get to this in left center field? The answer is yes, as Gavin Dugas runs it down. But 3 more runs for South Carolina in the second. And the Tigers are coming to the plate in the bottom of the second inning. South Carolina leads 5-0.
What does it take to ensure that no one is left behind? Simply because they lack access to technology. What does it take to bridge the digital divide? It takes commitment. It takes action. It takes investment. The Players Coalition is dedicated to providing educational grants, access, and technology to those who need it most. What does it take to prepare everyone for the road ahead? It takes me. It takes you. It takes all of us.
Advil Dual Action fights pain 2 ways. It's the first and only FDA-approved combination of Advil plus acetaminophen. Advil targets pain. Acetaminophen blocks it. Advil Dual Action. Fast pain relief that lasts 8 hours.
Mr. Buble, not again.
Just fixing a little typo, Gladys. Oh, what's this? Buble bounce?
Yeah, a little caffeine, no calories. It's great.
Kick of caffeine. Just what I needed to fix all these. Would you pronounce it bounce or bounce? Yeah, Buble bounce.
It's not how it's pronounced.
No calories, no sweeteners, just a kick of caffeine.
Whoa, Susan.
Oh, I'm looking for coupon codes.
Well, Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them. It's called shopping smart, not hard.
But I don't have a Capital One card.
You should get one, but you don't need it for this. Just download Capital One Shopping to your computer. It's free.
Ooh, save me some cheddar.
So, when's the party? I love fondue.
Really?
I never joke about hot cheese, Susan.
Me neither.
Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
LSU has some catching up to do. South Carolina 2 in the first, 3 in the second. And off to a 5-0 start in the final game of the series. LSU won Thursday night 5-1. And then let a 2-run lead get away in the final inning of the first game today. South Carolina scoring 4 in the 7th to win it 4-2. Jordan Thompson, who has played very well defensively in this series, is looking to become a base runner here.
Well, if you're LSU, Lynn, you can't look at the big number and worry about trying to get it back in one big inning. You have to just chip away, and it starts with getting base runners however you can, whether it's swinging, walking, whatever, and just try to get 1, maybe 2, and build some momentum that way.
Thompson hit it hard, but Malone at third base is able to get the job done. So there's the first out. Thompson in the series now is 0 for 6. So is DiGiacomo as he's at the plate. Travinski is on deck. DiGiacomo looks at a pitch upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike from Will Sanders.
Sanders pulled the string on that one. He's been 93 to 95 with the fastball. That time he took a little something off and was 86. DiGiacomo almost swung twice.
DiGiacomo is jammed. Wimmer makes a nice play, coming to the ball in the base path. 2 ground ball outs, 1 to third, 1 to second. Watch Wimmer here. This is not an easy play.
Not an easy play because he knows who the guy is that's running. You know, Giovanni DiGiacomo, maybe not quite as quick as when he is 110% healthy like he was the first game of the year before he pulled his hamstring, but still gets down the line good enough, and Wimmer knows that.
Travinski is first pitch swinging and slices it foul.
Right now, Sanders, it's fun to be him on the mound because he's got that big arm at last pitch, 95. with his team spotting him that 5-0 lead, he can just lift the leg and let the big dog eat. Just throw a lot of heaters.
Travinski is 1 for 4 in the series. He has started each game. Travinski rounds first and then slips, but gets back to the bag. Khalil made a heck of a play to get to the ball, but could not complete it from the backhand side. And that's an infield hit for Hayden Travinski.
It's a heck of a job just to make it close on that ball. And Travinski wisely gets back to the base.
So a 2-out infield hit extends the inning for Zach Arnold.
Travinski's average now, Lynn's going to be up over 270.
Arnold is looking for his first base hit of the series.
Yeah, Travinski's average all the way up to 283. That's
a bonus behind the plate for the Tigers.
No doubt.
Arnold cannot find an off-speed pitch. Will Sanders has unleashed a couple of really nice change-ups in this inning.
Yeah, that time he went with the slider, and it was just absolutely filthy coming out of that 6'6" slot.
He misses high and away.
You know, when you throw 93 to 95, like those are the radar scores we're seeing right now, coming from a 6'6" freshman pitcher as a hitter, particularly down in the lineup, you are sitting dead red fastball. So any sort of off-speed pitches and fastball counts are really going to fool you.
2 outs, a runner at first base. LSU will next play on Tuesday here in Baton Rouge against ULM. Travinski will be moving on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. And the first baseman, Mendham, retreats to cover more ground defensively. This is popped up. Mendham should have a play in foul territory. He's got it, and the inning is over. We have played 2 innings in the final game of this series. South Carolina leads LSU 5-0 on the SEC ESPN network.
Experience all the deals in-store and online at Lowe's First Annual Spring Fest. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Pause jerky. We have to stop.
Beef jerky!
Take a family off-road trip in the new Santa Fe with H-Track all-wheel drive.
Did I miss anything?
Is he eyeing the last bite of cheesecake?
You go ahead.
Well, maybe just half.
I'll take half of that then.
New Philadelphia Cheesecake Crumble. Cheesecake and graham crumbles in a personal serving because the last bite is not meant to be shared.
It's so busted, you can't use this part of the screen.
Definitely cracked every phone I've owned.
You broke your phone, so Verizon broke the rules. For the first time ever, new and current customers can trade in their old and damaged phones for up to $1,000 off our best 5G phones.
My phone is old, very old.
Old, cracked, water damaged, doesn't matter.
I'm ready for something new.
Now, trade up to the 5G network you deserve with the 5G phone you want. Because at Verizon, the network is just the beginning.
5-0 South Carolina with 2 in the first and 3 in the second. Blake Money, the starter, was reached for all of those runs. Mikhail Hilliard came on in the second inning and recorded 3 outs, and now it is Garrett Edwards, the second reliever for the Tigers, 1-2 on the year with a nice earned run average of 2.76. He has allowed 15 hits in 16 plus innings. He has struck out 17. He has walked only 6. This young right-hander appears to have a bright future ahead of him on the mound at LSU.
Yeah, there's a lot they like out of him. Now, it has not gone too well out of the bullpen to start his SEC career. He's had three appearances. He's 0-2 with an 8 earned run average. But those were little short stints, so an opportunity for Garrett Edwards here maybe to stretch things out a little bit and see if he can't put 2 or 3 innings in a row, or maybe even go the rest of the way for Paul Mainieri. Because I got to believe with Blake Money making his second start in a row and it not going so well, Paul Mainieri's probably evaluating Garrett Edwards and even probably Helmers from a standpoint of, let's see if we want to maybe try one of those guys as the third starter next week.
That's a fair ball as South Carolina opens the third inning with an extra base hit. Eister measured that one into the left field corner. That's his 8th double of the year.
Boy, hitting is so contagious. And right here, just first pitch, fastball swinging, fastball up and in, and Eister had the foot down, ready to go. That's now 11 hits for South Carolina in their last 3+ innings.
Josiah Seitler struck out against Money to end the first. A ball from Garrett Edwards.
Edwards, the pride of Pitkin, Louisiana.
Outstanding in baseball and basketball at that small Central Louisiana school on the western side of the state. Vernon Parish, I believe. I know Sheila Thompson Johnson, a wonderful basketball player and a Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, was a star at Pitkin. Another knock up the middle. Eister had started back toward second, thinking that ball might be caught by one of the middle infielders. So he could not score on that knock, but it was well shot up the middle right here.
12 hits now in the last 3+ innings for South Carolina offensively. They are on an absolute roll. Guys are fighting at the bat rack to get into the batter's box, you know, when you get on a heater like this.
That's 8 hits already in this game for South Carolina, after being shut out through 6 innings in the preceding game and only scoring 1 run in the first game of this series. And that came late. Let's see if there's a play. That's a heck of a catch by the second baseman. Zach Arnold got an early start on it. Trey Morgan did not. Morgan eventually peeled out of the way, and Zach Arnold ran a long way to get to this.
Good job of communicating by LSU on that right side of the infield. You know, the middle infielders have priority over the corner infielders, so Morgan did his job. He heard Arnold saying, I got it, and he got out of the way.
Here's Khalil, the veteran shortstop, who tripled and drove in a run and later scored. That came in the second inning. He is late on that high heat. South Carolina has changed from maroon to black jerseys for the second game. That gets away from Travinsky, and Heister scores standing up from third. And the trouble continues for the Tigers.
Now this is a run that should not happen. I mean, when you're a catcher and you call the breaking ball, particularly with a runner at third, you always have to anticipate that a ball is going to come in the dirt, and that one barely made it into the dirt. Should have been blocked, wasn't, and LSU struggles continue.
That will probably be called a wild pitch, but is not. It's going to be a pass ball. And you're right, Ronnie, that's one that should have been kept playable.
LSU running out of time. Remember, 7-inning game, not 9 because of the double hitter. And so there's even more of a sense of urgency to minimize the damage.
In the last 4 innings, going back to the 7th inning of the first game today, South Carolina has scored 4, 2, 3, and 1. No pitching combination that LSU has found has been effective. The Tigers had very high hopes after playing one of their best games of the year, behind some very timely hitting on Thursday night and some excellent pitching from Marceau and Fontenot. Palmineri wanted that to serve as a foundation game, and it looked like it was going to until the final inning in the first game today. There's a quick strike.
Well, credit South Carolina. You know, what kept them in Atlanta is this is the third best team ERA in the SEC pitching. And so it kept them close until they finally got it going offensively. LSU only had a 2-0 lead, had a lot of missed opportunities. Because of that good South Carolina pitching, they waited and waited, and finally the offense caught up and has exploded here.
That's a breaking ball on a 3-2 pitch, nicely delivered by Garrett Edwards.
Edwards spins a slider right here. Khalil not able to catch up. They really think a lot of that young man right there. His role, Garrett Edwards, will be uber crucial next year. Very important to this LSU pitching staff in the future, as will Money and Floyd and a lot of other freshmen who are gathering valuable experience this year.
Here's Malone, who had an RBI double and scored in the second. Six runs, 8 hits for South Carolina. No runs, a pair of hits for the Tigers. Two and 0 to the third baseman at the bottom of the order. Malone is batting sub 200 at the moment. That is out of play. South Carolina will entertain Arkansas on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of April. Games are listed at 7 o'clock on the 22nd and 23rd Eastern Time, and 4 o'clock Eastern Time on the 24th. The Razorbacks and the Gamecocks at South Carolina next weekend. Edwards muscles up and throws a 91-mile-an-hour fastball by Brennan Malone. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That got there quickly, but it was out of the strike zone inside.
Yeah, this misses not by much, but it is inside. Keep in mind, Travinski's set up on that corner, so anytime he has to reach a little to the left, it's a ball automatically.
There's a call, third strike. Edwards did not like the outcome of the previous pitch. Malone did not like the call on this pitch, but the Tigers get off the field, giving up one in the third. It's 6-0, South Carolina.
I met Dave pre-pandemic. He was coming out of his car with crutches, and I went out and rushed to help him.
I was like, what? Someone's actually coming out to help me?
Dave would order the same thing every day. The #1 meal, no pickles, large fry, large Diet Coke, and 3 ketchups. I don't know what it is about 3 ketchups.
Better than 2 and less than 4.
The topic of sports is where him and I really clicked.
We've basically been talking basketball ever since because of people like Marcus. This inspired me to become part of the Chick-fil-A team.
Hey! Now we got a full squad.
Exactly.
Ah, come on. Seems about right. Your cousin from Boston. I brought Sam.
Where's the water?
Dude, what if we found a dead body out here? Rope swing. Canoe trip canceled. It says watch out for cougars. Oh, Dave, I didn't know your ma was out here. Yeah. You got a knot, kid. Oh, sorry. Nothing like a Sam Adams in the great outdoors. Not too heavy, not too light. A shooting star.
That's a plane.
Shooting star.
Same plane.
Not everybody wants the same thing. That's why I go with Liberty Mutual. They customize my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need. Because I do things a little differently.
Hey, I'll take one, please. Wait, this isn't a hot dog stand?
No. Can't you see the sign? Wet teddy bears. Get your wet teddy bears 100% wet, guaranteed, or the next one's on me.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. A long day of baseball at Alex Box Stadium unfolding, coming your way on the SEC ESPN Network. Mother Nature was the winner yesterday. The Tigers won the first game of the series on Thursday, but South Carolina has been resilient so far in the 2 doubleheader games on this Saturday afternoon, coming from behind and winning in the 9th inning, or rather 7th inning, 4-2 in game 1 today, and scoring 2, 3, and 1 in the first 3 at-bats here in the second game for a 6-0 lead. Trey Morgan tries to get it all back with one swing and can't find it. Morgan had a base hit to open the game for the Tigers in the bottom of the first. He's hit safely in 6 straight games. He has reached in his last 13. Dylan Cruz and Gavin Dugas will follow.
Trey Morgan started the ball game off on the very first pitch he saw. He hit a laser to right field for a single. And I have a feeling LSU is going to get a lot of batting practice against 94-mile-an-hour fastballs, because with a 6-0 lead, there's no reason to mess around. If you're Will Sanders, you can just attack these LSU hitters and then throw a breaking ball when you're ahead 1-2 or something.
Morgan and Travinski have base hits off of Sanders so far. He has walked 1. He has not struck out anybody. LSU put its first 2 batters aboard on a base hit and a walk in the first. But then Sanders buckled down and got Dugas and Doty and Beloso. Thompson and DiGiacomo grounded out in the second before an infield hit by Travinski, and then Arnold fouled out, And now it's Morgan here in the third.
Sanders and Floyd for LSU were both 1-2 as far as right-handed pitchers are concerned coming out of high school last year in the state of Georgia. And you can see why. They both are kind of effortless, easy throwing right-handers, and the gun lights up between 92 and 95 when they both pitch.
I hear a train coming. It's north to south. And the 337 is right on time, although very short. 2 engines, and that's it. You know, the other day I learned something that I had not known before, and that happens every day. But I am told, I read, I was always wondering, you know, why some of the engines on the train appear to be backward.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
They can go just as fast backwards as they can forward.
Right. Morgan stays alive. So the train could be with its rear end going down in that direction.
Right.
And it doesn't matter.
Did not know that.
That's what I read. It's amazing the breadth of subjects that can come up and be shared.
My only concern would be if you're the train engineer and you're going backwards, how do you see?
Well, you turn around.
You say so.
That was a 10-pitch at bat, finally ended with a ground ball to the right side.
Sanders with only 41 pitches through 2 1/3 innings, even after that 10-pitch at bat.
Here's Dylan Cruz. He has walked. Cruz also walked in the first game. He does not have a base hit yet in this doubleheader. Cruz takes a strike. Ronnie, you need to remind me in the top of the inning about finally getting to my story about Major League Baseball.
I think
experimenting with the designated hitter rule.
I think you can work it in right now.
Well, I'm going to wait and see here. Cruz doubles, or rather singles, made a big turn, but decided to certainly not take any chances trailing by a 6-0 count. So Dylan Cruz with a stinger through the left side. Here's Gavin Dugas, who flied to center. LSU trying to get base runners in any fashion. And the Tigers need to do something with those base runners when they get into scoring position. They were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position in the first game. They are 0 for 3 in this game. So 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position in today's action. South Carolina 4 for 8 in this game and 2 for 6 in the first game today. That was a changeup of some sort. And Dugas did not recognize it in time.
And Burgess thought there was 2 strikes on the batter because when he blocked it, he caught it, he tagged him. Got to get 3 strikes to be out.
That looked like another changeup.
Yeah. Sanders super comfortable with the off speed, you know, fastball, changeup, all comes from the same slot, looks the same, and he's got a good tempo going on the mound. You can tell he's got a tremendous amount of confidence. And why not? With a 6-0 lead, the world's your oyster.
Did he throw another one?
That was a slider that time.
About the same speed, though.
Mm-hmm.
And it fooled Dugas. That's his first strikeout.
Right here, just kind of throws a little slurvy slider up there, about 59 feet. It's been a long day for Dugas.
Here's Doty, who popped up to the first baseman last time. Sanders has alternated between a changeup and a slow slider the last several pitches. There's a nice bender.
I mean, these are fastball counts. Hitters are going up there expecting a fastball. South Carolina's got a 6-0 lead, but yet Sanders has enough confidence right now, and he's pitching so effortlessly that he's just flipping breaking balls and pitching backwards.
And that is the end of the inning as Sanders strikes out Dugas and Doty.
3 straight sliders he threw against Doty, who swung and missed him by a bunch.
So Cruz is left aboard after a single, and the lead is 6-0 for South Carolina.
How do you top the perfect cup of Dunkin' Cold Brew? With the perfect top of sweet cold foam. Sip into a smooth Dunkin' chocolate stout cold brew topped with sweet cold foam. Order ahead on the app. America runs on Dunkin'.
A few months with the WW app and I'm down 20 pounds. You want to see how I do it? It'll blow your mind. Strong start on my activity points today, so I don't have to skip any rope. And I don't have to skip any meals, which is great, because I hate doing both. Still think about pizza. And I still get to eat it too. With WW, I can enjoy the food I want when I want. Download the WW app and join now.
WW Weight Watchers Reimagined. Try WW today with a 14-day free trial.
Why haven't you joined yet? Oh, because you're waiting for this commercial to end. I get it.
Time to have everything you love. Time to have Hulu.
Everything I love, like Last Sports and Family Guy?
Everything I love, including me?
Every drama that I love is on Hulu?
Not in my house. No.
Jimmy, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico?
Happier than Dikembe Mutombo blocking a shot.
Get happy. Get Geico.
South Carolina has scored in every inning here in the final game of this series. It's 6-0 Gamecocks.
Look at that. First 9 innings, South Carolina only 3 hits. And then all of a sudden, they broke out the correct baseball bats. They must be swinging the wrong ones.
15 hits over the last 10 innings for the Gamecocks. Edwards throws in a strike.
And it all started against A.J. Labus, who was in absolute control with a 2-0 lead going into the 7th. The first 2 batters of that inning got back-to-back singles, and the rest is history.
Brady Allen at the plate, swings through that one. We've been talking about experimental rules, and this comes at the dictate of Major League Baseball. This is going to happen this summer in the Atlantic League. They will move the pitcher's plate back 1 foot. So it'll be 61 feet 6 inches instead of 60 feet 6 inches. Ronnie Rance already has given a thumb down on that.
A big boo.
But how about this?
Rule.
In addition to moving back the pitcher's mound, the Atlantic League will also adjust the designated hitter rule. Now, this is an experiment, but teams can only use the designated hitter. We'll finish the thought after this. A tremendous stop again by Jordan Thompson, but he had no chance to get Brady Allen at the top of the order. An infield hit by Allen, but again, Jordan Thompson has just been a wall at shortstop. Nothing has gotten by him.
Just an opportunity to make it close is pretty impressive, and the wrong guy was running for Thompson because Brady Allen can scoot a little bit. He can get down that line in a hurry, and he knew that. That's why the throw was a little off, but fun play nonetheless.
So under this new DH rule, and this is an experiment in the Atlantic League this summer, teams can only use a designated hitter until their starting pitcher is removed from the game. So once the starting pitcher is gone from the game, the designated hitter also is gone from the game. The reliever will either have to hit or be replaced by a pinch hitter when he comes to the plate.
That's
now,
interesting.
All right, here's some thinking on that. The change is being made as a way to marry both the American League and the National League approach to the DH rule. Teams will not have full-time designated hitters. So each team will be equal. Each league will be equal.
Well, first off, even though I am a National League fan by birth and for most of my life, and grew up a Cubs fan and even an Astros fan when they used to be in the National League, but I'm a fan of the DH. I think it's silly for pitchers to hit when you've got POs and you got pitcher-only guys in college and beyond. I mean, even the great Skip Berkman didn't like his pitchers to hit. We had a lot of good guys that could have hit the baseball, but he didn't want you wasting your time doing that. And so I'm a fan of the DH. So I don't like that rule, Lynn. I think they should just go straight DH, American League and National League, and end the debate.
Well, here's some of the reasoning behind it. Fans will still get to see double switches and manager strategy at the end of games. In fact, there may be more of them. Major League Baseball is calling this rule the double hook because it will result in both the starting pitcher and the designated hitter leaving the game at the same time. Major League Baseball also believes that it will incentivize teams to leave their starters in longer.
No doubt about that.
Starters are staying in games less often than any time in the history of baseball.
Well, you've got a situation where you'll see teams in that Atlantic League this summer, the experimental deal, where they will try to stretch a pitcher, maybe an extra half inning. If you're on the verge of, well, should we take him out or not? Well, if the DH is coming up in the bottom of the inning or the top of the inning, you may leave him in there a little bit longer, which could backfire on you if the guy should be hooked.
Well, we've seen in some cases pitchers who are basically designated as openers, they pitch only the first inning,
right,
as a way to cover for poor rotations. Under this new league, the teams would lose their designated hitter after just one inning, making it more likely perhaps that they would use a traditional starter rather than, quote, an opener pitcher. Now, when might these rule changes, the 61-foot 6-inch distance between the pitcher's rubber and the plate, and this designated hitter amendment, when might it come to Major League Baseball? That is going to be determined in the future by Major League Baseball. However, there have been some changes in the Atlantic League that have made their way into the minor leagues, and I like most of them. The minor leagues are now using a bigger and flatter base, and one that's less slippery and less prone to cause injuries. The 3-batter minimum for pitchers, restricting defensive shifts, reducing mound visits.
I'm a fan of the shift, reducing the shift.
I'm not. I think they could put 7 or 8 players on one side if they wanted to.
Well, I think
well, it would never be 8, but
I think with the information and the data and all it's getting to a point where it's affecting the batting averages. You're talking about strikeouts, right? I mean, if you're going to move the mound back a foot because there's too many strikeouts, which is what Major League Baseball is saying. That's why they're running this experiment. Well, the same can be said for the shift. That's affecting averages.
That's just brain power, though, reacting to the law of averages and the ability to pitch the ball where you want it to. I don't have a problem with that. Wes Clark pops up to the shortstop. This brings on Mendham.
The one thing you haven't mentioned in all those experimental rules, which is the one that I'm in the most favor of.
What's that?
Is robot umpires or computer umpires behind home plate.
They have actually experimented with that in the Atlantic League. They've experimented with altered pickoff rules.
I think we're at a point now, technology-wise, where we should be able to get strike ball calls 99.99% of the time correct.
The runner is on the move, and Travinski is unable to make the play. That's the 7th stolen base for Brady Allen. He's in scoring position.
Well, Edwards with a big high leg kick threw a breaking ball. No chance for Travinski to get him, but he almost twisted an ankle right there coming out of his catcher stance.
So in the robot ump world, the only role you're saying for the plate umpire would be to make calls at the plate, not on pitches, but out or safe calls. Is that right?
Well,
why could you not also have a robot ump to track whether it's a fair or foul ball?
You know, you use technology to say in or out when it comes to tennis, you know, in and out on the line or not. You use replay.
Whether it's a Skinner or a winner.
So if we're going to reverse a safe or out call at first, or a fair foul, or a home run or not, or whatever, if you're why can't you do balls and strikes? Because there's nothing that affects the game of baseball more than a ball strike call.
Very true. It's very unlikely you would argue with a computer, too. And to think that baseball was once considered sacred.
The one thing I do not want them ever to change is the in-person announcers. I mean, you got to have the booth guys, the talent to do the game. Robot everything else, but not the announcers.
Well, if we did have robot announcers, this discussion would be between two computers on whether or not human announcers would add something to the game.
Before anybody texts me, we know your answer. We know how you feel about it.
I just thought I would throw out a little bit of unusual stuff here in a 6-0 game.
I'm curious to see how it all plays out when the data at the end of the summer.
Yeah, because this isn't just conversation. This is going to occur later this summer in the Atlantic League at the behest of Major League Baseball. 3-1 pitch. Off the mark. The inning continues.
LSU, by the way, if you're wondering, does not have anybody up in the bullpen.
Now batting for South Carolina,
Here's Andrew Eister. He has singled, he has doubled, he has scored. He was the first batter that Edwards faced when he came on in the 3rd inning.
And Eister, what a day he's having here in the game 2 of the doubleheader with a couple of hits. But in the first game, he was outstanding defensively.
A nice recovery is made by Doty at 3rd base. So we move on. This is the first time that South Carolina has not scored. 6-0 Gamecocks. Tigers coming to the plate in the 4th.
How do you top the perfect cup of Dunkin' Cold Brew? With the perfect top of sweet cold foam. Sip into a smooth Dunkin' chocolate stout cold brew topped with sweet cold foam. Order ahead on the app. America runs on Dunkin'.
Look at this human trying to get in shape. Ah, you know what he will get? Muscle pain. Give up. The couch is calling. I say, it's me, the couch. I'm calling. Pain says you can't. Advil says you can.
Mr. Bublé, not again.
Just fixing a little typo, Gladys. Oh, what's this? Bublé bounce?
Yeah, a little caffeine, no calories. It's great.
Kick of caffeine. Just what I needed to fix all these. Would you pronounce it bounce or bounce? Yeah, Bublé bounce.
That's not how it's pronounced.
No calories, no sweeteners, just a kick of caffeine.
salmon wild caught?
She only eats wild caught.
I need a price check on honey.
Don't get mad. Get E-Trade and get more than just trading. Investing, banking, guidance.
South Carolina leads 6-0. It won the first game 4-2. LSU won on Thursday night before the rains came on Friday. 5-1 was the winning score for the Tigers. And Will Sanders has been given an early lead. He has held LSU to 3 base hits. He has walked 1, struck out 2. Cade Beloso at the plate for LSU. He is first pitch swinging and drives it foul.
Well, if LSU is going to go on a run, and they're going to need to, right, in SEC play to punch their ticket to postseason, Cade Beloso is going to be a big part of that. We know about the top 4 in their lineup right now, and there's a lot of confidence in Morgan and Cruz and Doty and Dugas. But Beloso is coming. He's been red hot lately. His average has gotten down to around 200, around that Mendoza line, and all of a sudden now it's heading in the opposite direction. He's made a few adjustments, and they're going to need all hands on deck to create some offense here and get on a roll in April and May.
Beloso beats the shift. There were 3 infielders on the right side, and he squirted that one to the left side of second base.
It's a good adjustment here because it looked like he clearly was trying to truly go back up the middle. He kind of really stayed square on that ball, flattened the bat through the zone, and really pushed that barrel up the middle because he saw that shift, and he's been hitting into that shift all year long.
4 base hits for the Tigers. They've had a single in each inning. Jordan Thompson lifts that out of play. He swings again and dribbles it foul. Two strikes on the Tigers shortstop, who grounded to third last time. A breaking pitch is sent into the right field corner. A long run for the right fielder. And he's got it. A nice play up against the tarp in foul ground by Eister. We've seen him make a couple of nice catches.
Again, huh? Eister in the 7th made back-to-back catches on the warning track. One of them where he jumped up against the wall. And this time, unfamiliar territory. That is not an easy catch on the road when you're not really sure of how far the distance is from the foul line to the stands, and then you got to deal with a bullpen bench. That is special.
That's the first out. And here's to Giacomo, who grounded to shortstop last time. Steve right. To Giacomo, trying to get back into an offensive rhythm after spending a lot of time in the boneyard following that very early season severe hamstring pull. That's a wild pitch, and Cade Beloso moves up to second base.
Good job by Beloso. Reading the ball in the dirt right here. And that's one of those where as soon as you see the ball in the dirt, you take off. You don't wait for it to bounce away from the catcher. You have to read that as a base runner. watch the angle. You see that it's going to hit the dirt, and you take off.
Will Sanders, a one-time SEC Freshman of the Week this year.
Not once, but twice.
I must be looking at an old note, which indicates he was the SEC Freshman of the Week March 1st.
And April 5th.
And April 5th, you're right. The 1-2 pitch to DiGiacomo. Elevated out of the strike zone.
Rain's starting to come down here at the box.
That is indeed a four-letter word, rain.
You can see it right there from the center field camera.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. That's 3 strikeouts for Sanders.
You see they just took a little something off that changeup. You could see the way the ball tumbled. Kind of had a little left to right spin on it. It's a different kind of grip, and Sanders right now is just having fun out there in the mound. Everything's working.
Here's Stravinsky, who had an infield hit last time to the left side. Sanders over the last couple of innings has started to throw more off-speed pitches and more sliders, and he's been good with it. Stravinsky's average has ascended to 283. This South Carolina team, despite being second to last in team offense in the SEC, is certainly challenging Vanderbilt and Tennessee solidly in third place in the Eastern Division of the SEC. So they've had some timely hitting. Despite a very low team batting average, they've had really nice pitching the entire year. They play pretty good defense. And they've been doing what they've needed to do at the right time this year in the majority of games. A win today by South Carolina would give them a 10-5 SEC record. A lot of teams would like to have that.
Now 10-5 is, you know, most years, Lynn, is halfway to winning your division or maybe the SEC overall, because the goal of every year when you're a South Carolina or an LSU, you talk about it, is to go 20-10. That means winning every series 2 out of 3. And 20-10 most years, you're going to win your division, and probably every other year would win the conference overall.
Vanderbilt has 3 SEC losses. Tennessee has 4.
That series between Vanderbilt and Tennessee, because of COVID, the series been being played in Knoxville this weekend between those two teams. Because of COVID and the limitations on attendance, tickets were going for over $300 on StubHub for the first game of the series.
Those teams are playing right now in the bottom of the 4th inning. There is no score.
That's Jack Leiter that's pitching game 2. Vandy won game 1, and Kumar Rocker, after picking up his first loss of the year last week against Georgia, pitched a shutout through 7 innings, and Vandy won 5-0 against Tennessee in game 1 of that series between number 2 versus number 3 in the country in one of the polls. Oh, that's a foul ball.
I think so.
Yeah.
Travinsky tried to get out of the way. The bat was in the path of the ball.
That pitch went behind Travinsky, and as he ducked down, the ball hits the barrel of the bat. So that's considered a foul ball. And you can see he can't believe it.
That's hit sharply. The second baseman backs up, makes the play from a couple of steps beyond the dirt. And Travinsky hit it hard, but Wimmer was equal to the task. We move on with South Carolina leading 6-0 over LSU.
To better understand movement's impact on our health, we need to take activity tracking a step further. Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo measures the intensity and duration of your activity throughout the day, whether you're taking a stroll, taking the stairs, or pushing yourself to the limit. Halo uses guidelines informed by the American Heart Association to help you reach your goals in less time and less steps.
Got 6 + 1.
Wingstop for
Who ordered lunch to class? Chloe? Archie? Eleanor? Oh, so nobody will fess up? Fine. I guess I'll just have to eat it all myself. 10-piece lemon pepper with extra ranch?
Yeah, it's in there.
Awesome, thanks.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
After my wreck, I had a lot of questions, but the insurance company wasn't giving me any answers. I needed to lean on G. Gordon?
Lean on G. If you're in a wreck, don't talk to the insurance company and don't sign anything until you talk to me. Lean on G. We're here to fight for your rights and recover every dollar you deserve. Lean on G.
Gordon got me $225,000.
Just call me. Get it done.
Call 999-9999 or go to getgordon.com.
South Carolina piled up 6 runs in its first 3 at-bats and leads by that margin as we play at the 5th and the final game of this series.
You see fans trying to get under that roof as the weather comes down. There's D1 Baseball's top 20, top 10 list right there.
5 of the top 6 are from the SEC. Let's move to the second page and you'll see 11 through 20. South Carolina at that 11 mark. Louisiana Tech having a nice year, up to 14. Florida is number 18.
The Bulldogs at 14. They'll be traveling to Baton Rouge in May to take on LSU in a midweek game. They've already played once this year, and LSU won that game.
That was one of only 7 losses this year for Louisiana Tech.
Louisiana Tech won 1 of 3 at home against Arkansas, but absolutely blew a chance to win that series. They had a big lead late, and Arkansas came back and won an extra inning. So Bulldogs are for real.
Well, so is Arkansas, apparently. 13-0, a winner today. Arkansas over Texas A&M.
Wow.
Florida beat Missouri 8-6. That's a good off-speed pitch from Edwards. Tennessee has just taken a 2-0 lead over Vanderbilt with a 2-run home run off Leiter.
It's got to be the first time this year that Leiter's been behind in a ball game.
So who do you think's winning between Ole Miss and Mississippi State? 6 and 4 nationally, respectively.
Well, Ole Miss won yesterday.
They're in the 7th inning, by the way, in Starkville.
All right, I'll take the Rebels.
Well, you're correct so far. 8-0. Did Mississippi State or Ole Miss win yesterday? Mississippi State, I think, might have been a victor in that one. There's another superb play by the shortstop, Jordan Thompson. He actually played that off of the pitcher. Jordan Thompson has been running left. He's been running right.
He's showing tremendous range. More range than I think anybody really thought he had. And
so Seitler goes down on a 6-3 putout, and here is Colin Burgess. That replay may have indicated it didn't hit the pitcher, but nonetheless, Thompson going to his left, going to his right, backpedaling, charging. He's made all the plays in this series.
He is kind of quietly just becoming one of the best freshmen in the conference.
Cade Doty over to first base on the first pitch to Colin Burgess. Burgess is now 1 for 3. That base hit in the second moved his hitting streak to 10 games. And here's the shortstop, George Khalil. So Tennessee is up 2-0 over Vanderbilt right now. Auburn and Alabama just got started. It's scoreless in the first. Kentucky will play Georgia tonight. So you are up to date in the SEC, and we'll try to update these scores again in a couple of innings.
Edwards with a nice inning right here. Getting his rhythm together. This could be a crisp one.
Lined right off the glove of the third baseman, and there will be no play. Cade Doty was right there and quite honestly should have caught that one.
Yeah, I mean, the ball's hit hard, but it's right at his chest. Curious to see the replay here, what happened. Watch him.
Looked like he started to make the play on the forehand side and then tried to change it to backhand or vice versa, and just kind of got caught in between.
Yeah, the ball had obviously a lot of movement on it and a little top spin, but
they have ruled out a base hit.
I think that's the right call, Lynn. I mean, the ball was hit. It was a missile shot to third base.
So a 2-out single off the glove of Cade Doty for Khalil. That's his second base hit of the day. And here's Brennan Milone, who has an RBI double and a strikeout. That's 10 hits for South Carolina. Runner is on the move, and the pitch is fouled away. LSU had a promising start to this series with a very well played and well pitched game on Thursday, and thought it was going to win the series, leading 2-0 in the final inning of the first game today, but it all started coming apart for the Tigers at that point. The play is made at first base. The inning is over. And we move on. LSU has some catching up to do. The Tigers will bat in the bottom of the fifth with South Carolina leading 6-0 on the SEC ESPN network.
Mr. Bublé, not again.
Just fixing a little typo, Gladys. Oh, what's this? Bublé bounce?
Yeah, a little caffeine, no calories. It's great.
Kick of caffeine. Just what I needed to fix all these. Would you pronounce it bounce or bounce? Yeah, Bublé bounce.
It's not how it's pronounced.
No calories, no sweeteners, just a kick of caffeine.
It's so busted, you can't use this part of the screen.
Definitely cracked every phone I've owned.
You broke your phone, so Verizon broke the rules. For the first time ever, new and current customers can trade in their old and damaged phones for up to $1,000 off our best 5G phones.
My phone is old, very old.
Old, cracked, water damaged, doesn't matter.
I'm ready for something new.
Now, trade up to the 5G network you deserve with the 5G phone you want. Because at Verizon, the network is just the beginning.
South Carolina 6-0 over LSU. Tigers coming to bat in the bottom of the 5th. First, let's recognize and salute the SEC Weekly Award winners. Connor Tate was the Player of the Week for Georgia, and his teammate Jonathan Cannon was Pitcher of the Week. Co-Freshman of the Week include Jordan Thompson of LSU and Caden Wallace of Arkansas.
How about Jonathan Cannon? 7 innings pitched, no runs allowed, 9 strikeouts against that Vandy lineup. And we saw them a couple of weeks ago here at the box where they just 1 through 9 really come at you, lead the SEC in hitting, and that's an impressive performance.
Zach Arnold swings through the first pitch from Sanders, who has been in control. He has allowed 4 hits, walked only 1, struck out 3. His strikeouts have come in the last 2 innings. He fanned 2 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. LSU does have a single in each inning in this game, but base runners have been hard to come by. Sanders has walked 1, so the Tigers have had 5 base runners in this nightcap. Baseball Tuesday night here in Baton Rouge against ULM. That'll be a 6:30 start Central Time. We'll have it for you here on the SEC ESPN Network. The ULM Warhawks and the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, Warhawks knocked off Alabama last Wednesday in a midweek game. And obviously when you're LSU and you're playing at the box, you play a midweek team from the state of Louisiana, you're going to get their best effort.
The payoff pitch to Zach Arnold. Grounded left side. Quick throw from George Khalil. And Arnold is out short to first. Will Sanders came into this game with 5 wins. This is his 7th start, his 15th appearance.
Sanders right at 80 pitches.
So Ronnie, his outings have been relatively short because in 6 starts and 14 appearances, he had only thrown 32 innings. So even as a starter, he has not lasted long. Been kind of a get me through 2 or 3 innings starter, and for the most part has yielded to the bullpen. Today he pitches in the 5th. He did have 8 innings against Georgia. That was his longest outing of the season. Trey Morgan grounds out to the right side, 2 down. 5 in a row retired by Will Sanders. And Dylan Cruz, who is 1 for 2, comes to the plate.
Really like Sanders' body language out there today, working quickly, giving the thumbs up sign, you know, and telling his teammates nice play. I mean, he's looks like a guy pitching with a lot of confidence. The ball comes out of the hand just so easy and effortlessly. That's 93 still into the 5th.
One ball, 1 strike on the rookie right fielder Dylan Cruz.
Matchup of 2 outstanding freshmen right here who'll be squaring off for 3 seasons in the SEC.
Some years ago, when the SEC was starting to exert its dominance over the course of the regular season, I heard coaches say that on every team you will find a future major leaguer. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think every year in the SEC there's one guy, at least one, who's going to make the major leagues from that team. I'm not saying they're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but I think the odds are pretty good that in any given year, one player or more will eventually get to the major leagues.
Well, this year, every single team, all 14 SEC teams, have at least one guy that was on an opening day major league roster.
Dylan Cruz finds his second base hit of this game. He's 2 for 2.
Vanderbilt was tops in the SEC with double-digit players on opening day roster major leagues, and then LSU was second.
Well, here we support that with a graphic. Vanderbilt with 13, LSU with 10. These are Major League Baseball opening day rosters. See South Carolina and Arkansas and Mississippi State out of the SEC, well represented in the major leagues.
Everybody always tries to figure out what the comp is for SEC versus minor league, right? Is it low A? Is it rookie ball? Is it high A, double A? What's the comp? And my answer to that is always who's pitching. And I'll tell you, if you've got Jack Leiter on the mound, then it's like triple A. But if it's Ronnie Rance, then it's low A. It just depends on who is out there.
And you've given yourself a raise since the last time we mentioned it. Dugas at the plate, hammers one foul. Well, if you missed it in the first game, we congratulated former LSU pitcher Alex Lang, who was called up to the major leagues by the Detroit Tigers. This was a couple of days ago. You remember Alex Lang as a 30-game winner in his LSU career. He was 30-9. There have been 10 30-game winners in the history of LSU baseball for a career.
Alex Lang was a strikeout sensation, the second on the all-time strikeout list at LSU.
Dugas goes down on strikes, and we move forward. South Carolina 6, LSU nothing. The 6th inning is straight ahead.
Don't you think? Definitely.
Got 6 plus 1.
Wingstop for
Who ordered lunch to class? Chloe? Archie? Eleanor? Oh, so nobody will fess up? Fine. I guess I'll just have to eat it all myself. 10-piece lemon pepper with extra ranch?
Yeah, it's in there.
Awesome, thanks.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
South Carolina's upcoming schedule looks like this. Next weekend it will host Arkansas, then a game against the Citadel. The South Carolina Gamecocks will play at Ole Miss, and then they will host North Florida and host Mississippi State. So three really good opponents coming up in a row. Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. All ahead the next 3 SEC weekends for the Gamecocks. 6-0 South Carolina leading after winning the first game in come-from-behind fashion, 4-2. Garrett Edwards is on the cusp of doing something he has not done in his very young LSU career, and that is work past 3 innings. If he gets an out here, it will represent the longest outing of his career, 3 1/3 innings.
Well, there's nobody up tossing in the LSU bullpen, so clearly Paul Mainieri wants to see if Garrett Edwards can stretch out the pitch count, stretch out the distance in the game to be an option to pitch the third game next weekend.
And that was going to be my question to you. Do we look ahead and say this is of sorts a tryout?
Absolutely.
For next weekend?
Yeah, because he admitted, Coach Mainieri did that last weekend against Kentucky. Had Garrett Edwards not pitched on Saturday in relief, he would have started on Sunday. Instead, he got used up. They went with Blake Money over Will Helmers, and they gave Money an opportunity again today, and it didn't go that well for the second straight week.
Garrett Edwards has allowed 4 hits and 1 unearned run. He has struck out 4 and walked 1.
Going to have his work cut out for him this inning, though, Lynn. He's going to have to go against 1, 2, 3 in the order, which has been red hot.
He did it in the 4th. He allowed an infield hit to Allen and then got the next 3, or 3 out of the next 4 with a strikeout, a pop-up, and a ground ball, and there was a walk in there.
Well, Allen did not agree with this call.
You reckon?
Fastball up. You know, if you're on that side of the plate to begin with, you know, if Travinsky's set up over there for a fastball in the inside corner and he catches that same ball, okay, I can see that maybe being a strike. But when Travinsky's on the right side of the plate and the ball goes all the way over and he has to grab it, that's why you see Allen disagree with the strike call.
Yeah, but let me tell you, as a former umpire, it doesn't matter where the catcher sets up. The umpire is looking, his gaze is between the 2 black lines on the outer edge of the plate and the black line in front and the triangle at the back.
That's why we need the computer, Lynn. We need the robot ump so we can eliminate this conversation.
It matters not. In fact, it's a bit irritating to some umpires to see a catcher jerk the ball back into the strike zone. The decision has been made well before the catcher does that. It has no bearing whatsoever. Cruz is backing up. He looks up, and that's out of his reach. It's a home run. Wimmer puts that one into the second row of the bleachers. Perhaps wind aided. The wind is blowing strong from left to right. Home run number 6 for Wimmer, and South Carolina adds to its lead.
Now this is wind aided in a big way. I mean, this ball I thought was fly ball to right field. I mean, nothing to it. And then all of a sudden, when I saw Cruz on his horse turning around and running towards the wall, the wind got a hold of that one in a giant way. I was shocked that that ball left the ballpark.
And that little fellow with the number 7 on his purple jersey got an easy souvenir out there. Now that wind is blowing directly from the left field foul pole to the right field foul pole. And perhaps had an effect on that home run, which made the second row of the bleachers. No matter how it got there, it's a 7-0 lead. Wind at about 10 miles an hour right now. Here's Wes Clark, who has walked, singled in a run, and popped up to the shortstop. The shift is on, and he's hit by a pitch.
That home run by Wimmer went 350 feet out to right field. And I thought off the bat it was going to go about 300 feet into a glove. Instead, it ended up 50 more feet into the stands.
I think you're envious.
No,
you were a very good hitter in high school. I remember that.
I'm glad someone does, Lynn. Thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, you lobbied unsuccessfully for 3 years to try to bat in college.
I know. Coach Burtman didn't want to hear anything of it. He told me once, he said, Rance, Ben McDonald was a great hitter at Denham Springs High School. Wouldn't let him hit. Not going to let you hit. Okay,
well, I think he had seen you run. David Mendham homered in the first. He flied out to left field. He has also walked. This is a chance for Morgan. And there's the second out. Seven runs, 11 hits for South Carolina. No runs, 5 hits for LSU after being held to 4 hits in the first game.
There's Trent Vittmeyer warming up in the LSU pen.
On comes Andrew Eister. He has singled, he has doubled, he has scored and grounded out to third. And played a nice right field. He's got a teammate at second base with 2 outs. And lines a base hit to left. Here's the throw. It's cut off. And perhaps there was an opportunity for a relay there.
Wow, there was some miscommunication in a big-time way between Doty and Travinsky, the catcher. Now, Doty's got to make sure when he cuts this ball, he's got to let the ball get on his left side. Instead, he cuts it off and spins towards the pitcher's mound. If he turns sideways and catches it with his chest facing the third base dugout, he can catch it and make the relay throw. And I think they probably would have had him in Homeland.
I agree. There was a lot of distance between the base runner and the plate when Doty grabbed the ball. But you're right, he was facing second base and had to spin in order to deliver a potential throw. He did not even throw the ball to the plate. And
even if you're going to cut the ball off, even if your intention all along is to cut the ball off, you still...
It puts you in a throwing position.
You still field the ball in a throwing position to where you can transition the catch and throw quickly.
Well, credit South Carolina. It was down to its last 3 outs in the 7th inning of the first game and came through with 4 runs to erase a 2-0 deficit. And the Gamecocks have banged a dozen base hits in the final game of the series. They have scored in every inning except 2 and have an 8-0 lead. Edwards is trying to finish his 4th inning of relief. His 3 2/3 so far have, that number represents his longest outing of the year. That's banged sharply to the right side. Seitler has a base hit. Eister will stop at second. And Paul Maneri, after Garrett Edwards has been reached for 7 hits now, will go to the bullpen. Trent Vittmeyer will be the next pitcher for LSU. We'll be back in a moment as South Carolina leads 8-0.
This is the planning effect. As Carla thinks about retirement, she'll wonder, what if I could retire sooner? And so she'll get some advice from Fidelity. And Fidelity will help her explore some different scenarios, like saving more every month. And that has Carla feeling so confident that she can enjoy her dream right now. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
If you want to be a winner, then get a turkey footlong from Subway. That's oven-roasted turkey, piled high with crisp veggies on freshly baked bread. So let's get out there and get those footlongs.
Now at Subway, buy 1 footlong in the app and get 150% off. Subway, eat fresh.
Did I miss anything?
Is he eyeing the last bite of cheesecake?
You go ahead.
Well, maybe just half.
I'll take half of that then.
New Philadelphia Cheesecake Crumble. Cheesecake and graham crumbles in a personal serving because the last bite is not meant to be shared.
Trent Vittmeyer is the new pitcher for the Tigers. This is his 10th appearance. He's worked 7 innings. His outings have been brief this year. He has allowed 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Vittmeyer has pitched in a variety of roles in his career at LSU.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Paul Maneri's takeaway is of this game relative to next week's third starter. We know Marceau and Labus, of course, are your solid 1s and 2s, but you know, Edwards had his positive moments in this one, but I think Vittmeyer coming in here, if he can close it out without allowing any of Edwards' base runners to score, will make the box score look a little better for him. But still, money, Edwards, or do you go Will Helmers? Coach Maneri and Alan Dunn will figure it out during the week.
My guess, and of course I have no advantage point, but my guess is it's going to be the guy we saw today or Helmers. Edwards or Helmers. Vittmeyer checks the runners. There are a pair of them, and delivers a strike. Colin Burgess has singled and scored, fouled out to the second baseman, and grounded out to third. Vittmeyer inherits 2 base runners with 2 outs. A home run by Wimmer and an RBI single by Eister have produced a couple of more runs here in this frame.
Well, this has been one of the more dominant performances by South Carolina this year. They lead at 8-0 here in the 6th in a 7-inning game, mind you. And they've got 13 hits through 5 2/3. LSU only has 5 hits and no runs.
South Carolina, though, the next 3 weekends faces a torturous schedule. Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Wow. Hang with them.
Vittmeyer's 2-1 pitch is lifted out of play. Vittmeyer jams that glove under his neck, puts it on his jaw when he takes the sign.
Vittmeyer, you know, statistically hasn't had many opportunities, and it's been a little bit of a mixed bag this year, but he's definitely one of the leaders of the team as far as in that locker room and in the dugout. Veteran guy who has a voice, hard worker, and is well respected by his teammates.
There's that habit of Vittmeyer's. I've not seen another pitcher do it like that, have you?
I don't think so.
A knock to right field. Cruz unleashes. It's cut off wisely by Morgan on the infield. And a base hit by Burgess, his second of the day, adds to the South Carolina lead. Eister scored.
Burgess just, I mean, that's a line drive shot. He went inside out on that swing, and the liner hit it really hard.
3 runs in the inning. And George Khalil, who has had a nice day, comes to the plate 2 out of 3. An RBI triple and a run scored, a strikeout, and a base hit his last time. Dittmeyer works in a pitch on the swinging Khalil.
Dittmeyer 88 on that last fastball. He's traditionally about 87 to 91 miles an hour.
We are in the top of the 6th in a 7-inning game. Dugas retreating in a hurry and makes the catch on the dirt in left center field. This inning got started with a home run by Wimmer, his 6th of the season. It went out toward right field, and that adds to the 9-0 lead. South Carolina has the advantage over LSU.
I'm ordering some burritos.
Oh, nice. Oh. Burritos? Get a freshly made footlong from Subway instead, with crisp veggies on freshly baked bread. Just order in the app. Ditch the burgers.
Choose better, be better.
Subway, eat fresh.
This is the planning effect. If you ask Susie about the future, she'll say she's got goals. And since she's got goals, she might need help reaching them. And so she'll get some help from Fidelity. And at Fidelity, someone will help her create a plan for all her goals, which means Susie will be feeling so good about that plan, she can just enjoy right now. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
Did I miss anything?
Is he eyeing the last bite of cheesecake?
You go ahead.
Well, maybe just half.
I'll take half of that then.
New Philadelphia Cheesecake Crumble. Cheesecake and graham crumbles in a personal serving because the last bite is not meant to be shared.
You have Cox Home Life, so you could see what triggered the porch light. But you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about how a little rain won't stop you from sleeping under the stars. You're thinking by this time next year, she'll be at sleepaway camp with Anna and Sophia. You're not thinking about the front porch. Well, maybe just a little. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life will help take care of the rest.
Here's what's upcoming for the Tigers. Next Tuesday, UL Monroe will be here. The Warhawks and LSU at 6:30 Central Time. The Tigers next weekend will be in Oxford against Ole Miss. Then a makeup game on April 27th against Grambling. That's not on your original schedule, but that's a 4 o'clock game, I should say, on the 27th against Grambling. And then the Tigers will host Arkansas the last weekend in April, and then the following week take on the Southern Jaguars.
Well, the next 2 weekends are going to be very difficult for LSU, as obviously it's well documented. Ole Miss and Arkansas are 2 of the top teams, not only in the league but in the country. And if LSU cannot pull off a miracle comeback today, they would fall to 4-11 through their first half of SEC play, which means you got to go 11-4 to get to 500 in conference play, which is kind of always the 500. Everybody gets into the postseason tournament. I'm talking about NCAA. You start getting under 15-15. It gets less and less.
1 ball, 1 strike on Cade Doty, who has popped up to the first baseman and struck out. Will Sanders, the starter for South Carolina, working here in the 6th. He has walked 1 and struck out 4 and been reached for 5 base hits. LSU has 5 singles One in each inning.
I would think Will Sanders with the pitch count getting up there to 92, 95 now, that if he gets a leadoff walk right here, they may pull him. And they're not going to let him pitch into the 7th. This is going to be his last inning.
There's a left-hander down in the bullpen, not throwing with any regularity right now, but they do have the bullpen stirring a little bit. Julian Bosnick is the southpaw. The 3-2 to Doty. Hit right off the pitcher. It's going to bounce all the way over to first base and picked up there for the out by David Mendham. So David Mendham in the right place to field the carom and then get to the bag for the out.
Watch right here when things are going your way like this for South Carolina. That's a line drive, a one hop right off the pitcher's leg, but carom's right to the first baseman.
1-3, but not your conventional way.
And he gave the thumbs up to his head coach in the dugout saying, I'm good, I'm fine.
Cade Beloso is 1 for 2 and has hit safely in 7 consecutive games. He's got the longest current hitting streak for the Tigers. 2-0. It's getting late in this contest. We will check some SEC scores for you as Beloso lifts this one very high in the air on the infield. The shortstop drifts to the first base side of second and makes the play. Khalil grabbing that one. Arkansas shut out Texas A&M 13-0. That's a final. Florida beat Missouri 8-6 in the first game. They are playing a second game with Florida leading 2-0 in the third. Ole Miss leads Mississippi State in the 9th inning. It's 9-0. The Rebels are putting a whooping on the Bulldogs. Vanderbilt has come from a 2-0 deficit and leads Tennessee in the 6th inning 3-2. The play is made at first base. A couple of other scores quickly. Auburn 4-2 over Alabama, that's in the 2nd inning. And Kentucky and Georgia play tonight. We go to the 7th right here in Baton Rouge. It's 9-0 South Carolina.
At KBD Productions TV is feeling the $5 Popeye Shrimp Tackle Box, and we're feeling the love.
Nice and crunchy buttermilk shrimp. Fabulous.
Get the Shrimp Tackle Box or Surf and Turf for just $5.
Don't you think? Definitely.
Advil Dual Action fights pain 2 ways. It's the first and only FDA-approved combination of Advil plus acetaminophen. Advil targets pain. Acetaminophen blocks it. Advil Dual Action. Fast pain relief that lasts 8 hours.
You have Cox Home Life, so you could see what triggered the porch light. But you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about how a little rain won't stop you from sleeping under the stars. You're thinking by this time next year, she'll be at sleepaway camp with Anna and Sophia. You're not thinking about the front porch. Well, maybe just a little. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life will help take care of the rest.
Across the country, businesses have had to adjust how they operate and make difficult decisions to protect their employees, customers, and communities. While we don't yet fully know where this road will lead, we do know you don't have to walk it alone. When you're ready, Cox Media's team of experts will be here to offer thoughtful perspective on messaging and media planning as your customers are evolving how they watch, read, and connect. We're here to help you navigate this together. Cox Media. Better together.
South Carolina with 2 in the first and 3 in the second and 1 in the third and 3 in the sixth has a 9-0 lead. Tigers will go to their bullpen again here in the 7th inning.
Thilo Milas comes on, the freshman out of British Columbia, Canada. 6'4" righty, 201-pounder. 7 innings this year. He's given up 6 hits, struck out 4 and walked 1. So we've had a Canadian for South Carolina. An Australian baseball player for South Carolina. Now we've got a Canadian pitcher for LSU. So a little World Baseball Classic going on here at the box.
Brennan Malone just misses an extra base hit. That's foul. Theo Millis on the mound. Replacing Vittmeyer, who replaced Edwards, who replaced Hilliard, who replaced Money. That's a breaking ball, and it sweeps wide.
Milas fastball generally around 89 and 92 miles an hour.
Malone has doubled in a run and struck out twice. South Carolina leading comfortably and looking for its 10th SEC win in 15 SEC games this year. DiGiacomo started back, and now that wind carries the ball away from him. He's able to recover, but he went back and then went to his right and then recovered all the ground he had yielded and then some.
Yeah, on the crack of the bat, DiGiacomo did a drop step and then turned his hips and ran about 3-4 steps towards the gap and then realized, wait a minute, wind knocked it down and had to sprint the other way.
Brady Allen comes to the plate. He's 1 for 4. This is one of the best leadoff hitters in the league. Hits with power. He can sting you at the top of the order. He runs pretty well. He's reached base in 13 consecutive games, which is one of the primary duties of a leadoff batter.
And how about Brady Allen's numbers on the year? Coming into this game, Lynn, he was batting .313 on the season. In SEC play, batting .311. So that's very consistent. Pretty good leadoff hitter for LSU on the other side. Trey Morgan, the true freshman, batting over .330 on the year.
Another play for Jordan Thompson, this one much more routine. Jordan Thompson has really been spectacular defensively in this entire series.
He has put on a clinic over there at shortstop. I mean, we're watching a guy over the last 3-4 weeks just blossom and come into his own. Remember, Nolan Cain got a verbal commitment from Thompson when he was 14 years old to come play at LSU. So they have recruited him for just about half his life. And he is just absolutely been special. And, you know, we've talked so much about Cruz and Morgan, them being true freshmen, what they're doing offensively. We've kind of overlooked Thompson's growth.
Well done at third base by Doty, and he makes the throw over to first. Doty had a very hard ball to handle, and he did it well. 3 up and 3 down for Theo Millis, and we go to the bottom of the 7th, 9-0 South Carolina.
Gillette Pro Glide. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke. So you're ready for the day, with a fresh face for a fresh start. For a limited time, get a 5th cartridge free.
Strip away what you don't want, like added sugars and preservatives. And what's left is the good stuff, the real fruit and vegetable juices of Naked. Stripped down to naked.
South Carolina has piled up 14 hits and 9 runs as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And Julian Bosnick, the left-hander, has replaced the starter Will Sanders. A 2-2 record, a 4.5 ERA, 1 save, 25 2/3 innings, only 15 hits allowed, 45 strikeouts.
Wow.
And 15 bases on balls.
Bosnick, 6'3", 218-pounder. He's a redshirt sophomore out of Lutz, Florida, by way of Berkeley Prep.
So Will Sanders with a good outing. He stands to win it, and if he does, it would be his 6th victory of the year. Sanders in 6 innings allowed 5 hits, no runs. He struck out 4. And Ronnie, one of the really remarkable things about Sanders, the now gone starting pitcher for South Carolina, he has never walked more than one batter in a game this year. So he only walked 1 today, and 1 is all he has ever walked in a game. Never more than 1.
Well, that's a special combination for that young man. When you're 6'6", 19 years old, throwing 93 to 95, and you don't walk anybody, and you can throw more than 1 pitch for a strike, he's going to continue to just dominate in this league.
Bianco is the pinch hitter for LSU, and Drew swings and goes down on strikes.
Boy, Julian Bosnick, another big arm out of that South Carolina pen, 94 miles an hour from the left side. Drew Bianco's like, thanks a lot for letting me pinch hit against this guy.
You know, it's remarkable, and it's almost universal. Every pitcher we have introduced today has had way more strikeouts than innings pitched. Not just a few more, but way more. I mean, some of them up to be like maybe an inning, a strikeout and a half
per inning.
Yeah, and some of them even approaching 2 strikeouts an inning.
I mean, Bosnick, he's only worked 9. He's now worked 10 innings in SEC play. He struck out 19. I mean, that's almost 2 an inning.
Yeah,
I mean, it's amazing. And only walked 3. So you're talking about 6, almost 7 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. That'll work.
Braden Doty is pinch hitting for Travinski. So Bianco down on strikes. Braden Doty batting for Travinski, who was 1 for 2. And a breaking pitch finds a piece of the outside corner.
Ooh, that was pretty filthy.
Now Jake Wyeth is coming to the plate, batting for Zach Arnold, who was 0 for 2.
Doty's sitting there looking for that 94 mile an hour heater. Instead, he gets a little backdoor 79 yacker.
South Carolina has come from the mat and is 1 out away from sweeping this doubleheader and winning the series. Tigers had a 2-0 lead in the 7th and final inning of Game 1 today, but South Carolina scored 4 times and has kept it coming in the 2nd game.
About 21 hits for South Carolina in their last 14 innings, which was the doubleheader today.
And they had 3 hits in their first 9.
Right. I mean, they have just flipped the switch like incredibly.
2 quick strikes on Jake Wyeth. Wyeth out of Lake Travis, Texas. And he goes down on strikes. Julian Bosnick comes out of the bullpen, strikes out the 3 batters he faces, and South Carolina turns in a 9-0 shutout against LSU. An impressive performance offensively and an impressive performance from the mound as well.
It really was. I mean, there's a lot to this game. This series looked like it was headed LSU's way after 5-6 innings. It looked like the Tigers might win 2 out of 3, maybe even sweep. South Carolina said, They started swinging the bats and just absolutely flipped this series on its head. And you can see why the Gamecocks are one of the highly ranked and one of the top teams in the country.
So that's the story from Baton Rouge today. It was delayed because of rain yesterday, but South Carolina comes through with a doubleheader victory, 4-2 and 9-0 the final. For Ronnie Rance, I'm Len Rollins. We'll see you Tuesday. ULM's Warhawks and the LSU Tigers at 6:30 from this ballpark. This has been a presentation of ESPN.
Advil Dual Action fights pain 2 ways. It's the first and only FDA-approved combination of Advil plus acetaminophen. Advil targets pain. Acetaminophen blocks it. Advil Dual Action. Fast pain relief that lasts 8 hours.
It's so busted, you can't use this part of the screen.
Definitely cracked every phone I've owned.
You broke your phone, so Verizon broke the rules. For the first time ever, new and current customers can trade in their old and damaged phones for up to $1,000 off our best 5G phones.
My phone is old, very old.
Old, cracked, water damaged, doesn't matter.
I'm ready for something new.
Now, trade up to the 5G network you deserve with the 5G phone you want. Because at Verizon, the network is just the beginning.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day.
Objection! My credit card doesn't earn double miles on every purchase.
I object to your objection. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase.
Order.
And may it please the court, earn 100,000 bonus miles when you spend $20,000 in your first year.
I'll allow it.
No further questions, Your Honor. Well, just one. What's in your wallet?
Your cousin from Boston.
Sam Adams' new Wicked Easy. It's light and hazy. Perfect for a day like today. Dude, you gonna pay for this?
Yeah.
Sam Adams' new Wicked Easy.
Your next memory is out there. It might be a small one or a giant leap. Maybe it's a memory of you alone or one with him or them. It could feel like magic. Or it might just warm your heart. Your next memory is out there. It's just waiting to be made. To new memories, Hilton and our family of hotels.
In a relentless world, connected but alone, trapped by illusion. But there is another path where the battle to belong begins.